Hi friends, very good afternoon. In today's video, we will be mostly covering about the overall impact of things affecting us in the Indian economy and global economy as an investor. So broadly, I am sharing whatever I've read in various financial articles and other reports and views and videos of various leading economists. So this is purely for educational purpose and should not be considered as any advice. Now, firstly, coming to the Indian market, as we see right now, the interest rates are at all-time low levels, and RBI in the current meet uh, had somewhat taken note of that, and views were that it would hike the rate, but the same hasn't happened till now, primarily because of the fear of the new variant of Omicron, which is hitting globally and may have some concerns in India, and the real fact that the growth in the Indian economy is still at nascent stage of development. So that is one reason that the bond yields have not spiked, or the rate hike, which is the RBI plans to increase the rate of interest both on the repo side and reverse repo side, has been curtailed for some time. Experts are of the view that it may happen sooner in the first half of early next year. Now, coming to the other side, the global markets. Now, global markets, the mother market, US market, is the news is the Fed is expected to taper by March 2022 the bond buying program. And further, it is expected to do certain rate hikes because inflation is very high in those countries. Now, you have to understand one thing very clearly, why Fed is doing all of this. Now, I'll give you a small example to make you understand. Currently in US market, the inflation is on account of supply side. That means some supply constraint bottlenecks, and also on account of money which had been sent as paychecks to all these people who are jobless. So money is there, people are buying goods, but there is some element of scarcity in terms of supply. So that is creating this inflation. So the Fed is of the view that let me hike interest rates so that less money would be available in the system, and also stop the bond buying. So that means then it will not be, putting money back into the system. So lesser money means lesser inflation. Now, there is another view to this. If interest rates are allowed to go very high in US, ultimately it will affect the US government ability to pay back debt. Current US national debt is $30 trillion. So the roughly annual interest is about 4 to 500 billion dollars, which is huge. So if a 1% increase in rate happens, interest rate, imagine the amount of national debt. So the view of people, the experts are that the rate cannot go very high from here. It may go for some time. Ultimately, it will have to be in the band of maybe 0 to 1% or whatever. So, whenever FIIs see that the rates are increasing in US or the mother market, um, even developed markets for that matter, European markets or all, so money flows out from the developing countries like India to these developed nations. So equity markets may have some kind of a correction. How much is very difficult to say. Broadly, the consensus view is that equity markets in India would be range bound and we will not have very much sharp contractions. We could have a 5-10% dip on either side, as we've already had from the peaks. So, how much more is there? Nobody can really time it or guess. But the broad parameter or my line of thinking is that if the US or the mother market starts hiking rates, it cannot hike beyond a level. Ultimately, interest rates will have to plateau or kind of peak out at maybe certain comfortable level. So again, that will make FIIs to pull back money, some part of the money back from these developed nations to the emerging countries. So short term, yes, volatility would be there in the Indian equity markets, but in the long term, a 5-year view, or I think stability should be there. Now, what does an Indian investor do at this point of time when there is so much news about global things, Indian? And not to forget one another article, interesting thing I was reading about the US real estate price crash, which is expected because there's so much excessive pricing because of cheap rate of loans available in the US market. So some people are projecting a decline in housing. How far that's true, time will only tell. So gold as an alternative is being suggested because enough dollar is being printed by the Fed. There's excess supply. So value of dollar will gradually fall. So the only reserve to dollar is gold. So long-term view on gold remains positive. Now coming back to what I was saying, what does an Indian investor do? So the Indian investor needs to stop timing, remain invested with a long-term in equity, which is a 5 to 7 year minimum horizon. And if you are a first-time investor, choose defensives like a hybrid, could be balanced funds through the mutual fund routes. Don't venture into stocks yourself if you're not familiar. Don't go by tips. And uh, preferably a longer horizon could curtail all these risks, reduce it. Of course, there's no guarantee in equity market. Coming to the other part, which is the bond market, where there will be volatility in the short run. One approach is to buy short-term bonds, so there's less volatility. The other is to wait for the interest rates to peak in India and then buy long-dated bonds. But again, you need to understand the trick. If you are an investor who understands all this, only then enter into bonds or buy bonds, safe PSU bonds or good bank bonds. I mean, this is not the forum to discuss about all the bonds. I'll take a separate forum. But safe AAA rated corporates or maybe high value state owned bank bonds, which are very safe, you can buy them and hold them to maturity because trading will again have that risk of interest rate and can give you either some form of capital loss. So this is broadly which I wanted to share. Because of this uncertain time, investors keep asking me what to do, where to invest, what is the best asset class. The time tested formula for years, in fact 500,000 year formula is remain invested in multiple assets. One option is gold, one is equity, one is debt, one is real estate, and there are many more options and subvariants of all of these. So if you diversify into this, overall you're reducing your risk. One asset may do well in a year, other may do well in another year. But long-term average, all these assets are expected to give you some positive return, closer to double digit. So overall, if you see the picture from a 10-year view or a 7 to 10-year view, you should be positive, most likely. So that is broadly the investor thing. And SIPs continue to be one way to reduce your risk, even if the markets are very volatile, you will average. And also, I would firmly, I personally would believe this fact that uncertain times are always there to stay. We cannot run away from uncertainty. That's the beauty of the market, and that's how we make money. But the most biggest losses which we make are sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing. Rather than remaining invested through the tides, even if you can't time it, you can still make decent returns. Lastly, to conclude this, I'll share an example. If somebody had bought Nifty or Sensex and stayed invested for 20 years, you would have made a 15 or a 16% compounded return by doing nothing. No buying, no selling, just holding that. But how many people have stayed for 20 years? So those who have stayed have done really well for their investments. So that is the thought. Thank you very much for watching this video. Stay safe. This is Arun Anand. Thank you once again.